Ba-da-bum, 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 bum, ba. Ba-da-bum, 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 bum, ba, 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 ba.
All right, we're week 15 here in the NFL season, and we're getting down to the end here. And I mean, this is it. I mean, every game is big now. Unless you're out of the playoffs, then obviously it's not. You're just playing out the string. But you got a lot of things still need to be decided as we get the playoff picture ready for January. It's starting to set up here. Let's start with the Thursday night game. And what a great way to kick off this week. Biggest game in the AFC this year. Basically going to decide the AFC West. Possibly the number one seed. You get the LA Chargers going into Kansas City on Thursday night. I mean, what a big game. I mean, not just from playoff standpoint. These two teams, looking to, take that next step, and maybe one of these teams finally gets to the Super Bowl. After many years of not being in the Super Bowl, and then the fantasy aspect of this is ridiculous as well, because you got injuries on both sides of the ball. And I'm in one league where I'm in the playoffs, and I have Gordon and I have Justin Jackson, and then I got Spencer Ware and I got Damian Williams, and but I also have Zeke. And I have Tariq Cohen. I'm not benching those guys. So I'm going to have to make a decision on do I start the Chargers running back or do I start the Chiefs running back? I mean, Ware is probably not going to play, so we're probably looking at Damian Williams at this point. But, if Gordon goes, I mean, listen, he better be healthy. The Chargers are going to be in the playoffs. So, I mean, if he's ready to go, then play him. But if he's not ready, let Justin Jackson do the heavy lifting here. I mean, you want to win this game, but I mean, the last two times, Gordon, what was it, the London game, he had to back out the last minute. That was the right move. And then I think it was the Arizona game he tried to play. He put up like 25 fantasy points, and then he hurt himself. So it's like, did you really need to? Did you really need to be out there, Arizona, in the second half, banging up your knee or whatever? So, I mean, anyway, listen, you need to be paying attention to this game. See who's starting for fantasy. I'm going to be on the clock here, ready with my phone to make a move if I need to. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, it's a big game. Man, Kansas City, they pull out that win last week. What do we got here? Kansas City they're the 1 seed, they're 11-2. You get the Chargers at 10-3. Winner of this game probably getting home field, right? Well, the Chargers, no, but see, the Chargers still don't have a tiebreaker though, even if they win, because Kansas City still have a better division record. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna pick the Chiefs. I really want to pick the Chargers to win this game, but I somehow the Chiefs are gonna pull it out. I just need Pat Mahomes to not put up a zillion points, fans, because I'm going against him in one of my leagues of playoff semifinals. I don't need that. So let's get Kansas City in like a 2017 type of game. How about that? Damian Williams scores 2 touchdowns because I make the smart move and start him at the last minute. All right, then we get 2 Saturday games. Yeah, you gotta love the Saturday. The December Christmas time games. I mean, because once in a while you get a good one, and then it's like and then you get a couple games like we got this week where, you go one team that's in it or kind of in it, and then a team that's not going anywhere. But again, you still got to pay attention because these teams need the game. I mean, the first game, Saturday afternoon, late afternoon, you get Houston at the Jets. Houston finally had their winning streak snapped. And again, see, I said last week when Kansas City and Houston had the top 2 seeds, I said one of these teams is going to blow it, and Houston, of course, blows it now. Now New England moves back up in the 2 spot. But Houston, listen, that was a tough game. I mean, listen, they won 9 in a row. They were due for a loss. The Colts have, they're rounding off, but whatever. But I mean, maybe the Jets give Houston a game here. You wonder if Houston's gonna, start looking sloppy now as they steamroll toward another Saturday wild card playoff loss. But Houston will win this game. But don't be surprised if they start struggling now, because you never know with them. Until they do it, I can't be confident in them. But they should win this game though, at least. Then you get Cleveland and Denver Saturday night. I had a rough loss for Denver on Sunday. I don't know what the hell happened in that game. Because I was watching Cowboy games, so I didn't really pay too much attention. But every few moments, I take a glance at the score and be like, "What the hell's going on with Denver?" And of course, I had Cortland Sutton, one of my leagues, doing nothing. But Denver, really hurt themselves in the playoffs. If they could have won that game, they would have been in great shape. But they're in trouble now. They're in trouble now because they could have theoretically gotten to a point where they could be a game behind the Chargers with that last game against the Chargers in Denver and then have a chance to beat them and get in the playoffs. But now, even if they went out, you got 4 teams ahead of them at 7-6 for the last spot, and I don't know what's going to happen. They'll probably win this game. They'll bounce back because I think they're a good young team, but. They really blew their playoff chance last week, losing to the 49ers. But I'll take Denver to win this game Saturday night. And then we move on to Sunday, the early games. You get Arizona, Atlanta. It's a garbage game. Atlanta will win. Who cares? And you get Detroit at Buffalo, another garbage game. Bills let down last week against the Jets. Let down. The Bills have been letting people down for a quarter of a century. So Sunday's not gonna be any different. Is Detroit gonna win 2 road games in a row? Maybe. I'll take Buffalo on this one. Hopefully it snows. It's the only reason I look at this game. I don't know what the weather forecast is. It might be 70 degrees. I don't know. Buffalo win. Who cares? And you get Oakland at Cincinnati. Oh god, it's another game nobody cares about. Raiders, got a nice win against the Steelers. The Raiders are going to be weird now the rest of the year, where everyone's like, oh, we're playing the Raiders, easy win, and then look what happened to Steelers last week. And one thing about the Steelers, I'll get to them in a minute. The Raiders, Cincinnati, who cares? The Bengals have no quarterback. The Raiders are maybe playing inspired ball. I'm gonna pick the Raiders to win this game. Yeah, I'll pick the Raiders to win. Who cares? Then you get Green Bay and Chicago. Now, again, here's a game now. And listen, I talked about this a couple weeks ago, before any of this stuff happened. But I basically summed up the NFC, what the NFC playoffs are gonna look like this year. Okay, so you have the 2 best teams. You have the Rams. You have the Saints. They're going to get the top 2 seeds. They got the 2 best offenses. And what I was talking about a couple weeks ago was like, can the 2 teams in the NFC with the best defenses, Chicago and Dallas, can they go in, beat the Saints and or the Rams? Because everyone, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, everyone was like, oh, Saints and Rams going to NFC title game, just burn up like a mutt. Just buy your tickets now. And I'm telling you, don't make your reservations just yet. Because I said a couple weeks ago, before any of these teams play each other, I said, let's see if Chicago and Dallas, with that defense, can stop these offenses. And a couple weeks ago, you saw the Cowboys do it to the Saints, and then last week you saw the Bears do it to the Rams. Now, Cowboys and Bears, they did it in their own buildings. So now the question is, when we get to January, first of all, can Dallas and Chicago, can they survive the wild card route? And Seattle's going to be out there. I don't want to see Seattle. So they're going to be out there to possibly trip up one of these 2 teams in wild card round. But can they survive the wild card round? And now can they can one or both of them go into New Orleans and Los Angeles and stop these teams again? That's it. That's the question of the NFC playoffs this year. That's it. We'll see what happens. But anyway, this game with Green Bay, now Rodgers is going to play well now because he got rid of McCarthy. But I'm going to take the Bears to win this game because I just think the Bears are better now. And the Packers, I don't know, can the Packers somehow, the Packers can somehow still back in the playoffs, I think. So they get to 9-7-1. They don't play the Vikings again, so they wouldn't need the Vikings to lose another game. I'm sorry, the Packers can only get to 8-7-1. And then they need everybody in front of them basically to lose another game. Division 2-1-1. I don't know. It's still gonna be tough because I think they would still lose a tiebreaker to Minnesota at 8-7-1. So they might need Minnesota to lose twice. But listen, Rodgers got rid of McCarthy. That's what he wanted. They can start fresh next year. I'm gonna take the Bears this week. Then you get the Cowboys in Indianapolis. Again, Cowboys. Great win last week. Obviously, Super Bowl chances are done basically. I think they can still back into the playoffs, but they got to beat the Rams and Texans the next 2 weeks to have any shot. Excuse me. But Cowboys are on to win the NFC East and win the NFC East. But what I'm really hoping here for the Cowboys now is, they can't get the bye. Had New Orleans lost last week, they actually would have had a chance to get a bye because they would own a tiebreaker on New Orleans. Don't ask me how, but I figured it out at some point. But New Orleans would have had to have lost last week, and they didn't. So the bye is out for the Cowboys. But I'm really hoping they can flip Chicago and get that 3 seed. And I think Dallas, if because they're a game behind in Chicago right now. So if Chicago loses, I think Dallas has the tiebreaker. I think it's strength of victory or whatever it is. I figured it out. Me and my son wasted like an hour and a half the other day trying to figure it out. But I think Dallas, if they can catch Chicago, I think they'd own the tiebreaker on them. So I want that 3 seed because I would much rather play whatever garbage team backs into the playoffs as a 6 seed, because Seattle's getting a 5 seed. So they're going to the 4 seed. I'd much rather Seattle go to Chicago, and then let that team go to New Orleans, and then we'll deal with the Rams in the divisional round. But we'll see what happens here. And listen, the Colts, this is going to be a tough game now. But the Cowboys are playing well. They're running the ball. Dak, listen, he had a good game, but he still made some bad mistakes, bad overthrows, a couple fumbles. That's got to stop. Listen, if he eliminates those stupid plays, this is a tough team to beat now. And again, everybody that was complaining about the stupid first-round pick, the most valuable first-round pick in the whole world that we gave up in next year's draft for Amari Cooper. Okay, well, all right, where are those people now? You know what I'm saying? So just shut up when teams make trades, okay? All right, so you don't have the 21st pick in the draft next year, whatever it is. So who cares? All right, you got a guy to stretch the field. He's getting comfortable in the offense now. You don't need a zillion guys. You get high power offense like the Rams. They got a bunch of great receivers, or the Chiefs. You got 2, 3, 4 guys that can stretch the field or cause problems. Listen, you don't need a bunch of them to do it. All right, Amari Cooper is one guy that can do it. Because again, before they had Cooper, they have a group of complementary receivers. They got Hearns, they got Beasley. Those are complementary guys. Now you bring in a number one guy, and Cooper was just dying to be in a situation like this, and now it's starting to work. Listen, guy lit up Philly last week. I'm sorry. Guy lit it up. All right. Now again, he's not gonna put up numbers like that every week, but he's a guy that stretches the field. It makes the running game a lot better. I'm telling you, Cowboys are going to be tough to beat. All right, and you can complain about Cowboys all you want, and haven't been in a Super Bowl in 23 years or whatever it is, but this team's going to be tough. All right, and you're living in a fantasy world if you think it's otherwise. And obviously they're going to beat the Colts this week. Of course I'm going to beat the Colts. But the Colts, this is going to be a little tricky here. These last 3 games, Indy, Tampa, the Giants, kind of knowing that, you've got the NFC East wrapped up. You could see them getting tripped up in one of these games. But the Cowboys will beat the Colts this week. Then you get Miami at Minnesota. Miami, what? I don't know what New England's doing last week on that last play. And good for Kenyon Drake, who basically, the guy took it 50 yards on a it's not like Miami had 4 or 5 laterals on that play. I think Drake was only the second guy to touch the ball. And he basically ran the last 50 yards while the defense is looking at him. And you get Gronk at the last line of defense. That's a stupid play by New England. I don't know how they let that happen. But then you get Minnesota, who suddenly can't do anything right on offense. I would love to get Minnesota in round 1. Would love to get Minnesota in round 1. That's a team you want to play in the wild card round because they're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? I mean, Thielen and Diggs, they're great receivers, but Cousins, come on. They gave that guy all that money for what? You know what I'm saying? And the defense is, I mean, the defense is okay, but it doesn't scare anybody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you want Minnesota in the playoffs. You want them coming into your stadium in wild card round. I don't know who's going to win this game though. I mean, Miami's going to, you know, Miami's due for a letdown after that miracle, and in Minnesota, I don't know. I mean, these are two teams you could see somehow sneaking into the playoffs, and you're like, these teams are not going to win wild card round. These teams are good. These are one and done playoff teams, Miami and Minnesota, if they get in the playoffs. I'll take the Vikings just because they're at home, and again, I don't trust either of these teams. I'll take the home team, but Miami could very easily win the game. Tennessee at the Giants. Tennessee still hanging around there. They're getting the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants trip them up this week, but I'll take Tennessee to win a game. I don't know who's Baltimore's going to get in the playoffs. I don't know about Pittsburgh yet, though. I'm going to get to them in a second, but I don't know who that last team in the playoffs is going to be in the AFC. Really, it's like the top 5 teams in each conference, and it's just like take your pick who that 6th team is going to be, and it doesn't even matter who the 6th team is going to be because whoever it is going to lose round 1 anyway. So the AFC, Kansas City, New England, Houston, the Chargers, and Baltimore. Baltimore's getting into the playoffs. And then the NFC is, the Rams, the Saints, the Cowboys, the Bears, and Seattle. And then take your pick for the 6th seed. But I don't know if Pittsburgh's getting in yet. So just keep your eye on them because I don't like what they're doing. But who the hell was I talking about? Tennessee and New York. Giants. Tennessee won the game. Who cares? Washington, Jacksonville. I mean, I don't know who started. What do we got? Josh Johnson starting at quarterback? Is that who it is? I mean, they might as well bring Theismann back at this point because what are they? I mean, man, if the Redskins could somehow get in the playoffs, that would be great. Do they really have any chance? Where are they right now, Washington? They're 6th. I mean, they're a half game out. Philly's got 2 tough games left. Come on, Redskins, get in the playoffs with a 4th-string quarterback and come to Dallas round 1. I mean, come on, man. I mean, that would be perfect. You know what I mean? Because that's it. Because again, when the Cowboys get in the playoffs, the wild card round is the one I'm going to be worried more about that game than I am the divisional round. Because I know we can go into LA or New Orleans and beat those teams, but you don't want to get tripped up the week before. And I don't want to see Seattle week 1. I don't want that in the wild card round. So let's come on, Redskins, get in the playoffs. They're not going to win this game. Well, I don't know. Well, anyway, Jacksonville can't score either. I mean, I'm taking this game. I mean, I have Jacksonville's defense in my New York City league, which, by the way, I'm dominating that shit. I'm 13-1. Of the most points by 100, and they don't have playoffs in that league, so it's just best record in most points, and I'm just dominating that league right now, and I have Jacksonville's defense this week because I'm smart enough to pick them up 2 weeks in advance. I really want the Redskins to win the game, but Jacksonville's going to win. I mean, the Redskins can't move the ball. Yeah, they can't. And the Jacksonville might win this game 6-0 again too. But who cares? Spend too much time on that. Tampa Bay's at Baltimore. That's the last early Sunday game. Baltimore's gonna win a game. Tampa. For a half last week, it looked like they were taking it to New Orleans, and it looked like they might get another upset, and maybe New Orleans is starting to have offensive problems. But then then they woke up and they took care of their business, and somehow I survived the playoffs and won my league going against Breeze and Camaro. So I do want to thank Tampa for helping me out there. So that worked out. But Baltimore won this game. Baltimore's going to the playoffs. You only got 2 late Sunday afternoon games, and good job by the league here. Because the second one, which I'll get to in a second, but the first one, Seattle, San Francisco. Kittle's only the 5th tight end in history to go over 200 yards in a game, which I couldn't even believe it when I read that. Because was like, didn't like Gronk or Gonzalez or even Kelsey, like, haven't one of those guys gone over 200 yards? Nope. The only other guy in the last 40 years to do it, 45 years to do it, was Shannon Sharp. Has the record for most receiving yards by a tight end. And then the three other guys that went over 200, like, we all did it in like the 60s and 70s. Like, the guys like, Jackie Smith's a Hall of Famer. And the other two guys, were not, big time guys. So it's like, it was very surprising. And this will be a tricky game for Seattle. But Russell Wilson, the second half of the year, I mean, he's just, he's just a great player. Now, I think ultimately, Seattle's going to be weird here because of Wilson. They always have a chance in the game, but I just think they don't have enough around him where I could see them going to Super Bowl. I mean, of course they could get in, whatever, but at the same time, you don't want to see them in the playoffs either. So that's kind of weird. Where it's like we don't want to play them, but I don't know that they can run and get all the way to the Super Bowl. I'll take them to beat 49ers this week, but just watch out for Seattle. I don't want to see them in the playoffs if we don't have to. I mean, at least in a wild card round, I don't want to see them that round. And then of course the big game. Here we go again. New England and Pittsburgh. Has Pittsburgh ever beaten New England with Brady and Belichick? Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a regular season game I'm forgetting, but it seems like every time Belichick and Brady go up against Roethlisberger, the Patriots have won every single time. Again, there's probably a game I'm forgetting about. But, I mean, and by the way, you don't like what Pittsburgh's up to right now. I mean, it just, they got over the Le'Veon Bell thing. They were playing better, and now the last couple of weeks, they have not looked good at all. And then just a garbage loss to Oakland. This is what I was going to say about Pittsburgh earlier. The Steelers this year, they're reminding me of like that 2008 to 2013 Tony Romo Cowboys team, where it was just like, why is the team losing games like this? Like, why are they losing games like this? You know what I mean? Like, Pittsburgh will never get blown out. Like, they'll always be in the game, but then like just stupid things happen, and they end up losing, and that's what they're reminding me of. It just in the loss of the kicker falls. I mean, 2 weeks ago they have 3 offsides on no game-winning field against the Chargers, and this week the kicker falls down and trying to make a kick. So it's just like that's when I saw that I was like, this is like the 08 to 13 Cowboy team when it couldn't get in the playoffs. You kept losing the last regular season game. That's what this team's reminding me of right now. And now you get New England coming in. Now New England coming off a real stupid loss. I mean, you can't have Gronk back there for a Hail Mary. The guy's not throwing the ball 70 yards. Come on, man. I mean, if they have a regular defender back there, now listen, maybe Drake makes another move or does a lateral, and who knows, but it's just this is a stupid way to lose the game, and it's just shocking because it's New England. Like, New England will lose games, but for them to lose a game, that's stupid. And Brady had a bad play at the end of the half where it cost the team 3 points when he should have just thrown the ball away, and like you kind of wonder, is this the beginning of the? No, it's not. It was a stupid loss, but until Brady and Belichick are not there anymore. Good luck keeping him out of the Super Bowl. But as far as this game goes, and this is the Jesse James, memorial. Was it a touchdown game? I think that was either week 15 or 16 last year too. And it's just so here we go again. God, the Steelers need the game though, and I don't know if they're gonna get it. I don't know if they're gonna get it. I'm gonna take New England to win. I don't think they're gonna get it. Don't be surprised if Pittsburgh don't make the playoffs. Okay. Now I don't know which one of these other garbage teams is going to take their spot, but Baltimore and Pittsburgh got to play one more time, right? Don't these two teams play one more time? Hold on. Where's the schedule here? Oh no, they don't. They played already. They played twice already. Let's see. They beat it. Oh yeah, they played twice already. Okay. Well, listen. It's only a half a game, and Baltimore's got Tampa at home. And then they get who they got? They gotta go at the Chargers. That's gonna be a tough game. And then they get the Browns at home to finish the season. But Pittsburgh's got New England, and they got Cincinnati again, but they got New Orleans. So I mean, just look at it right here. I mean, you can see the Ravens going 2-1, Steelers go 1-2. Ravens win the division, Steelers at home. So I think that's a real possibility, and I don't think listen. They've never beaten New England when it counts. They're not going to do it again this week. So I'll take New England. And then you get your Sunday night game. You get the Rams again on Sunday night. This time they'll be home against what used to be the Super Bowl champions. And I mean, listen, the Rams will win the game. Supposedly Wentz isn't going to play now, which actually might serve the Eagles better because I don't know that Wentz has really played that well this year at all. But listen, he's a second-year quarterback. I mean, what do you expect? But anyway, you get Foles this week, probably for the Eagles. The Eagles are done. Again, they might back into the playoffs just because the race for the 6th seed is it's just a toss up right now, and it's like whoever loses the fewest games will get in the playoffs. But the Rams will bounce back this week and they take care of their business. And then you get New Orleans at Carolina on Monday night. Again, first half of that Tampa game last week, you were starting to wonder what's going on with the Saints here. They're gonna fall off at the wrong time, but then they rallied, and then they took care of their business. And then you get Carolina. Wasn't Carolina 6-2? Has Carolina lost 5 in a row? Is that right? 1, 2. Oh my God, Carolina's lost 5 in a row. Are you kidding me right now? I mean, the last 4 have been close, and then they had that blowout loss to the Steelers. But I mean, Carolina's done. I don't know what's wrong with them. I mean, Christian McCaffrey scores 50 fantasy points every week, but it doesn't seem to do him any good. I don't know what the hell's going on with the rest of that team. But New Orleans back on track. They'll win the game, and I don't see Carolina getting in the playoffs here. Who is going to get in the playoffs? I mean, the NFC. Minnesota's probably going to end up in the playoffs. I mean, not just because they have the half-game lead, but I can't see Carolina, Philly, Washington, or Green Bay doing what they need to do to overtake them. I mean, Minnesota's is going to back in the playoffs by default. And then in the AFC, that last spot. I mean, if the Colts weren't playing the Cowboys, I'd probably say the Colts, but the Colts might get in there anyway. But then they need Pittsburgh to lose twice. I don't know who's getting in. Maybe it really is a toss-up. Colts, Miami, Tennessee. I don't know who's getting in the playoffs. Doesn't matter because they're going to lose the first round anyway. Same for Minnesota. If they get in, whoever gets in the 6th seed, they'll lose in the first round. So there you go. All right. So that's it. So there you go. We'll be there early Sunday watching the Cowboys and Colts game. We'll have some fun with that, and then we'll see you then. All right, week 15.